First and foremost, checking in at an even 6 foot from Wesleyan University, Field Minister Yates.
Good evening.
At 5'7" and 164 pounds, Michael Lester Clay
5'7". Wow.
And last but certainly not least, the one, the only, the incomparable Elizabeth Loza. Give it up for Liz Loza. Super excited to be here, my friends. How are you guys doing tonight at this live show here at the Racket, New York City?
I was good. I was good until that.
I was nervous. I was like, is he going to tell everyone how much I weigh?
Stop.
Don't do that. What is going on?
Liz, I would never. Never. Super excited to be here with you guys. We got a very fun show planned for everybody. Guys, we cannot stop drafting. We've been doing so many mock drafts. We got a bunch of people we just keep going back to the well. We're talking some bouncebacks and regressions, as well as some facts and feelings, and taking your guys' questions. A jam-packed show. It is going to be a ton of fun. But really quickly, before I get started, I do want to say, on a serious note, this is one of the most important things that we do. V Foundation, I just want to give a quick shout-out to this. V.org/ESPN. Right now, the Disney company, ESPN, and the V Foundation are trying to be able to raise $10 million towards pediatric cancer research. And so we have QR codes set up around the venue. If you want to be able to use those, you can donate money and go to V.org/ESPN to be able to help donate to be able to defeat pediatric cancer. That would be unbelievable. I'll probably mention it a couple of times because of how important the V Foundation is, but wanted to let you guys know about that. And with that being said, let's talk about some of the guys we just can't stop drafting. How many mock drafts do you think that we've done, Field Yates?
Not going to admit that one publicly, Daniel. Although, you know what? You guys paid your hard-earned money to come watch a fantasy podcast, so you probably are in line with us. I'd say mock drafts, I've got to be approaching 50 this offseason.
At least.
Right?
We've been doing tons of mock drafts, basically from May, as soon as the draft happened, up until this last week even, and a lot has changed.
Yeah, I didn't see any, no looks out there like, what's wrong with this guy? That was actually pretty well received.
That was well received,
so thank you for not judging.
Yeah, no problem with that. Nothing
Only
wrong with
50?
Only 50.
That's the real fan. Only 50? Are you kidding me? Well, there's a lot of guys that we just keep coming back to. Guys that we keep finding ourselves drafting over and over. Field, I want to start with you. Give me a guy that you just keep drafting right now in this season.
I hope Mike doesn't jump on me for this because this is an old running back, but he is a unicorn. We've been saying this on our show, which, of course, is back every single day. Pumped to be back. Derrick Henry, who I have as the 11th overall player in my rankings, which is 6 spots ahead of his ESPN average draft position. And, you know, when we're talking about the 110th versus the 116th player, I'm not sure there's really a difference between those two guys. But the difference between 11 and 17 is pretty legitimate. Derrick Henry, who has finished second in the NFL for 4 straight seasons in rushing yards, He just feels like one of the few things in fantasy football that you can count on. You're going to have to deal with a couple of hiccups, some speed bumps along the way. He's going to have those games where he either doesn't rush for 100 yards or doesn't score a touchdown because he's not catching that many passes, where he might be prone to a 7.5 fantasy point game every once in a while. Sure. But over the past 2 seasons, he also has the 3rd most 20 or more point games amongst running backs. So plenty of upside for Derrick Henry. Maybe he's boring because he's been doing it for about a decade now, but I keep drafting Derrick Henry.
Also feels like you're getting as good of a value on Derrick Henry as you ever had in drafts because of where he's at in his career. Yeah. But if you still are in on him, you're just getting a better average draft position because of that.
Yeah, look, I wanted to come out here and just trash all of Fields' takes, but I'm not in the business of doubting Derrick Henry, so I'm not going to do that.
Fair.
I'll pass on this one.
Mike.
I'll save it for later.
Okay.
All right.
You'll have bad takes. I know you will.
Give me your guy then, Mike.
My guy?
If you're so good at it.
All right, how about a guy that I love?
No.
Hey, yo.
Oh, here we go.
All right.
We cut his mic now?
Not Jordan Love.
Packers
the other
quarterbacks.
Jordan Love.
Okay. All right.
Jeremiyah Love, of course. Love Jeremiyah Love. I've been talking about him all offseason. Obviously, one of the top picks in the NFL draft. And goes to Arizona. I know Tyler Allgeier's there. There's a little hesitation right now because of the injury that he's dealing with. But it looks like he'll be ready to go for week 1. But even if he's not, even if he gets off to a slow start, I'm okay with that. This guy is a super efficient rusher. He's excellent in the passing game. He could pass block. And history is on his side as well. Okay? Now, I've been saying this stat. What did you say? Every single day
I would
on
say
the pod?
every day.
Yep. Every day on the pod, but this is maybe a new audience.
In the lunch line today it was weird.
So here it is. Here it is once again. The last 9 running backs drafted top 12 in the NFL draft. Finished top 12 in fantasy points as a rookie. not 7 or 8 out of 9, all 9 of them, including Ashton Jeanty, of course, last year. Slow start for him, but he came on after that once he got involved in the passing game, and obviously was effective. Jeremiyah Love is a better prospect than Ashton Jeanty. He is. He's up there with Bijan Robinson and Saquon Barkley. So I expect him to be a superstar, and I'll take a slow start. I'm not worried about it because he's going to deliver so many big games, not to mention Arizona, tough schedule during the regular season, extremely attractive fantasy playoff schedule. He could be a league winner this year. And he's going to now in the 3rd round. With the injury, he's going in the 3rd round now. Yep. So I will take that all day long.
Love that one. All right, Liz, what about you?
I got to think of a way to massage.
I know, I got to do something different than love that.
I appreciate that pick of yours, Mike.
Yes.
Of course, a little better than love. Liz, you're up.
Oh, I'm up. Okay. Yeah. It's interesting because there is this debate brewing in the second city about who will be the Bears' alpha, Luther Burden or Roma Dunze. And I say the answer is neither because the best pass catcher and the most reliable pass catcher on that team is Colston Loveland. He was drafted 10th overall.
A lot of love on this stage.
There is a lot of love,
off now.
especially for reliable players who can work as a mismatch and who were unleashed by their incredibly creative head coaches down the stretch of last year. Colston Loveland was the tight end 2 in fantasy from weeks 9 through 18. Down the stretch, he averaged 12 targets, 7 catches, and 94.5 receiving yards over his last 4 final games, including the playoffs.
12 targets?
12
averaged 12
targets a game over his last 4 games, including the playoffs. And of course, there are now 150 targets vacated in Chicago with the exits of Olamide Zaccheaus as well as DJ Moore. So there's a massive opportunity. I love Colston Loveland, and I think he has tight end 1 potential this season.
By the way, shout out Oz Zaccheaus getting a shout out at a live show here.
She does her research field.
Card. No, I mean, of course you do. What else is new there? But did not have that one on my bingo card.
Listen, I'm in on Colston Loveland, the player that you guys, and if you've been listening to the podcast, I have been all in on Tyler Warren. I love Tyler Warren. We got a little bit of maybe
a little rain on his.
I was going to say a little rain on the parade of Tyler Warren.
What happened?
On cue.
Once Keenan Allen got added to this squad, I saw Michael Pittman Jr. leaving 111 targets vacated, Liz, as you have talked about in other offenses. And I think that Tyler Warren was the guy that was going to see the biggest uptick in that. Then they add Keenan Allen. I still think that I'm in on Tyler Warren. I am still in on Tyler Warren. I would like to say that. However, I'm okay with taking Colston Loveland ahead of him. The point of this is the players that I can't stop drafting. If Colston Loveland's available, I'll take Colston Loveland. If Tyler Warren is available, I'll take Tyler Warren. The point is, I love this second tier of tight ends and where they're available in the draft. I can't stop drafting either of them if they're available in this 5th round area.
Did you move Tyler Warren down from your tight end 3 to your tight end 4 in your ranks?
I haven't yet, but I'm going to.
Okay.
Wow.
I want to see it on Monday.
Persuaded you.
Yeah.
What, were you traveling today from Connecticut to New York
was I
City
doing
or
something today? Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, groin injury for Tyler Warren as well. Looks like he'll be good to go for week 1. Like you, I'm a little mad at you for stealing my Tyler Warren thunder.
Yes.
It's one of my guys as well.
I love him.
It's a little concerning. We're both we're both on the same page on that
So
one.
much
Like
love.
they're very high on Tyler Warren.
Yes. Yes.
By the way, the coolest part about New York City, what a melting pot. Like, sometimes we've done shows in Detroit or Houston, Los Angeles, and it's like just a bunch of Jahmyr Gibbs jerseys, like Daniels.
Yes.
I see Steelers, I see Giants, of course, Browns,
Yes.
Chiefs.
Jets.
I see, it looks like potentially a couple that maybe a Jets and Patriots couple.
Oh,
And this works.
Wow.
Like everything is okay. Do
Some
we
might
not talk
say
on
that's,
Sundays? Is it like a...
We fight a lot. We fight a lot. Okay, that's just
Or
honesty.
some might say that's true love.
That's right. Agreed.
Listen, if you're a Jets fan after the last X number of years, I cannot question your loyalty
That's right.
whatsoever. I'm sure that's the same as being a partner. So, just shout out New York City. You never know what team. I'm sure I'm missing some teams further in the back. I don't see any Charger stuff, though.
Interesting. No, I don't see any West Coast.
Why Chargers feel?
Well, because I'm
I know where he's
drafting
going.
Justin Herbert all the time.
Oh, that's
He
what it
just
is.
segued himself. That's what he did right there.
No big deal. Justin
Is
Herbert.
that like the self alley-oop where you throw it off the
Yeah.
backboard and dunk it yourself kind of a thing?
Yeah,
So
it did really land though, unfortunately.
what I would tell you is that the answer is probably. You generously called me 6 feet.
Yes,
when you walked
I
in.
was giving you a little love.
No dunking in my past. So I can't speak to these self alley-oops. I
No,
just
Steph
play
Curry is
video
short
games.
too.
That's true. Steph just slightly better.
Oh wait,
at
better.
everything.
Jalen Brunson.
There you go.
Maybe not.
There you go. There you go, baby. That's it.
I think the first person to applaud Liz's comment is wearing a Drake May jersey. Is that
I think they're wearing a Drake May jersey, Field.
Yeah.
Drake May, rooting for Jalen Brunson.
Nothing wrong with that.
You know what? I'll let it pass.
That's why sports are great, Field.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, by the way,
Sports are great.
not hard to imagine why you want to root for Jalen Brunson or Drake May. They're both awesome. But you should be rooting for Justin Herbert as well. Justin Herbert, who's my quarterback 6. There's some guy at ESPN, we call him Nerd, and he just like crunches numbers and whatever.
Yeah, Daniel.
I was like, is that me, the nerd?
The nerd?
No,
Yeah.
there's no way.
Nerd.
Come
Oh,
on.
there's no way.
No, that's not me.
No.
And he has him as quarterback 14, I believe, right?
I do.
Yeah, quarterback 14. Listen, it's the same guy that gives out raisins at Halloween. We don't really acknowledge him other than when he has good fantasy takes. It's Mike, obviously. Justin Herbert, who, by show of, I don't know, I can't really see, hands or applause, like, if you think Tua Tagovailoa is better than Justin Herbert, let me know. Okay, that was nice silence right there. Did you guys see Tua spike the ball into the ground today? Not great. We think Justin Herbert's better, right? We all love Mike McDaniel as a play caller. That's really the calculus here, is Justin Herbert gets to play with the best offensive coordinator by a mile of his career. But in case you're interested in other stats, he did have 7 games last year with 225 or more passing yards and 30 rushing yards, right? That was the most in the NFL. You guys
Those legs.
Great athlete. Everything's coming up Herbo these days. Recently got engaged. Life seems to be good for Herbert. And
Do you get fantasy points for that? Is that how that works? Or?
yeah, sorry, didn't fit that one into the formula. Yes, he does get.
Well, here's the formula: 2025 outside the top 10 in fantasy points per game, 2024 outside the top 10, 2023 outside the top 10, 2022 outside the top 10. He's finished better than 8th one time in 6 seasons in his career. So I'm not necessarily projecting this big
Finish
leap
him.
forward
FYI,
for
FYI,
Justin Herbert.
Jeremiyah Love 0 top 50 finishes at running back.
That's true.
Yeah, but he.
That's
Whoa. 0 for 0 is different than 0 for the last 4
well,
seasons.
listen,
Big
well,
difference.
I think
Said
it's
you
still
wanted
a
back.
0, though.
It's still 0.
That's not how this works.
All right, Mike, why don't we
Need some reps.
Hey,
All right.
give us another
All right.
bad pick, Mike.
give us? Yeah, why don't you give us one and top that then?
How about a crowd pleaser? I know how to get everybody on my side. Jaxson Dart. Jaxson Dart. That's my guy. That is my guy this year, quarterback for sure. My favorite target. Look, last season, limited work. He played a bulk of the snaps in 12 games. So they weren't all necessarily 12 full games, but he played the bulk of the snaps in 12 games. He had 8 top 10 fantasy weeks. That was 5th most at quarterback last season. Yeah. I mean, that's unreal. Like, when he was out there, he was extremely good from a fantasy perspective, solid as a passer, and we know how good he is as a rusher, was top 5 in all of those categories as well. So you have that. He was that good last year. The supporting cast was not even very good last year. A lot of injuries. He's thrown 3 passes so far to Malik Neighbors in a regular season game. 3. He's going to have him back healthy this year. They had Isaiah Likely. Even Darnell Mooney is now just like a depth guy for them. That was a long-time starter, a long-time number 1 receiver for the Chicago Bears. So John Harbaugh's head coach. We'll see about Matt Nagy, but everything's kind of coming up Jaxson Dart. And here's the thing.
Did
with
you get fantasy points for that?
Yeah. You do for good play callers, good leadership. Yeah.
No, stop
Yeah, you
it.
do.
That was a
You're
good
in position.
Joke.
You're
that
in-
was
There's
objective.
so
No,
much
it wasn't.
gaslighting going on this stage right
Yeah, what are we even
now.
talking
My
about here?
goodness.
I love it.
Yeah, look, here's the thing. Even if he's not great as a passer, he could still be a top 10 scorer at the quarterback position. And frankly, if he is good as a passer, I think he's a sleeper to be the number 1 scoring fantasy quarterback this season. That is his ceiling. With what he does
He's
as a
trying to play to
rusher,
the crowd.
with what he does. No, I've been saying that all offseason. That was actually my bold prediction on the last FF Now of last year. Was that Jaxson Dart would be the number 1 scoring quarterback this year.
Mike brought the good stuff to the green room upstairs before the show.
He did. All right.
Liz, why don't we talk with you about who your other favorite player to draft is?
Mike is really high on Jaxson.
I'm really, really on Jaxson Dart.
You smell great, Mike. I was just going to say that I talked up a current Bear, and now I'm going to talk up a former Bear and a former Lion, my favorite Eagle Scout in the NFL.
That's right.
Maybe the only one, David Montgomery. Obviously a bit of a volume and production regression over his last season. And some might say that David Montgomery is a jack of all trades but a master of none, and that is okay because he provides a solid floor in doing that. Signed to Houston for a 2-year deal with $10 million guaranteed. That's not nothing money. And the Houston Texans ignored the position during this past NFL draft. I think he's going to see real opportunity. Yes, he's going to share the backfield but with Woody Marks, who did flash as a rookie, but also showed that he was not capable of a full workhorse role. I think that Montgomery will probably touch the ball 15 to 17 times per game. He is my RB1. He's currently the RB23 coming off draft boards in the 8th round of 10.
Hold on.
No.
Hold on.
Close.
Did I hear that incorrectly?
You're RB21.
He's my RB21
Oh, you said 1.
in my heart.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Pay attention,
Okay.
guys.
Yeah,
Come on.
in my heart.
Yes.
You guys are talking about like love and fake numbers. I'm allowed to have an RB1 in my heart and an RB21 in my rankings.
That's
He
fair.
is the 23rd running back coming off the board in the 8th round.
She's been spending a little bit too much time with Mike Clay. If you
I
catch
know
him
he's
adrift.
sitting right next to me, guys.
Yeah, look, I will say this about David Montgomery. I'm a little concerned here because he has one career finish better than 15th at running back, so it kind of lacks some upside. He's 29
One more
years
than
old.
Jeremiyah Love. just for the record.
More than Jeremiyah Love. And here's the other thing, too. The Houston offense with C.J. Stroud and D'Amico Ryans has not been really generous to running backs. They are 29th in fantasy points, 30th in receptions are Texas running backs. Now, I will say
Where
this
are they
in
gonna
your
throw the football
defense.
to?
Hold on.
Thank you.
I'm gonna paint the whole picture. The personnel hasn't been great.
Okay.
And when Joe Mixon was there and healthy, he was very good, but he needed a lot of volume. I'm a little concerned about how much
How many
Montgomery.
pass catchers that are healthy do the Houston Texans have currently?
Yeah, but I don't think the running backs are the answer.
I didn't hear an answer
I think
to
they
that
might
question.
have to be out of necessity.
I don't know. Well, here's the thing. We saw this last year. They still like who they have. Xavier Hutchins is going to be out there. They brought in Justin Watson. Jalen Noel was the 3rd-round pick last year. He's going to be involved. Tank Dell's now healthy. They
Are we
still have
saying it
Nico
wrong?
Collins.
Jalen Noel?
They have Dalton Schultz. They have Cade Stover. I mean, they have.
No,
have Cade
stop.
Stover
Stop.
is
That's
your
too far.
argument.
This
This-
is what we have to deal with.
This is
We're
why-
trying to have a
Okay.
legitimate argument.
No.
Mike talks about people
Listen,
like Kate
look,
Stover in the
This
middle
is
of our
why.
shows.
This is why some of us up here, one of us up here, does projections because Cade Stover matters. Okay,
But I
and he's
believe-
going to get targets.
I believe that
he matters in that
Hold
offense.
on, Mike. There are two of us.
Is he in the
that are
audience
in
tonight?
the-
Are we getting pranked and we didn't know Kate
Well,
Stover?
and also,
No.
like, there are
You're
two
gonna be-
of us that are in the Fantasy Sports Writers Hall of Fame.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So you're sitting next to the other one.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, okay. All right.
Wow.
So did that just wait? Did she just
I
turn
love
this
New
on
York
you guys?
City.
I think so. I think is that a shot at Field and I now?
I was going to say.
I felt like the walls were closing on me, and then Liz just like totally threw shit
Yes.
to you guys.
Yes.
I was going to say, I have, for the
thanks,
record,
Liz.
been named Dad of the Year 4 times by my 4-year-old. So, like, that's
Oh,
basically
I
Hall
thought
of
you were
Fame.
gonna intimate you had another one on the
legit.
She
list.
never actually wrote it. She just, like, put her fingerprint down when the teacher said.
But Dad of the Year, not Dad Hall of Famer though. Like,
Oh, wow.
that's what you're saying.
Look at this is okay. We're gonna
Spicy.
keep moving forward.
What
Yeah.
was the next
I mean-
topic again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My last player I can't
yeah.
stop drafting is Michael Pittman Jr. I just love Michael Pittman Jr. About the ADP with where he is
Stealing
at.
my guys, you're just copying my
He
work
is
this year.
in an unbelievable spot with Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers physically can't throw the ball more than 7 yards downfield. Michael Pittman Jr. runs most of his routes underneath that line of that amount of yardage. And so DK Metcalf, I think, is going to be basically Alec Pierce this year in the same offense with a bad quarterback. Even though DK Metcalf is really good, I would much rather have Michael Pittman Jr. at basically the same ADP. I just think he's going to give you a really nice safety net and a really good floor at the wide receiver spot in those middle rounds of a draft.
Can I call out something Field said? Because I thought it was a perfect comp, and I now have to make
Ooh,
up for maybe
okay.
something.
No. I'm actually good with you. You're fine. You can say whatever you want.
We're cool.
Not me, but
Field
just-
said that Michael Pittman for Aaron Rodgers this year is what Kenny Gainwell was for him last year.
I would love that.
So
I would love that.
only
Me too.
bolsters your argument.
I can't remember who was the first person that said that I heard it from. I think it might have been Wayne Gretzky, but whatever. It was somebody notable.
Wow.
So, but it's a
Okay.
great thought, though. Thank you, Liz.
All right.
You're welcome.
Hall of Famer. Hall of Fame person, too,
Listen,
for the record.
couple
Because that's
players-
the thing, is that you can be a Hall of Fame sports writer, but if you're not a Hall of Fame person, I'm not sure it even matters.
And Mom of the Year for
And
13
one of you on this
consecutive
panel
13
on side is a Hall of Fame person.
That's true. Let's move ahead. We got a little bit more in here. We were just talking about guys we can't stop drafting. Let's talk about some bounce back and regression. Mike Clay specifically wanted to do this because he likes talking about guys that are going to regress. Regression. Mike's got this thing with regression. He writes about it all the time. It's always about
do.
regression alert, regression candidate, positive regression.
Yeah.
He's got a weird regression thing.
Is there an insult coming? Like I'm doing because I'm working hard, like doing my job.
Is
in
that
the
what it is?
off-season? Like is that?
Well, then let's start with you, Mike Clay. I want one
Can't all
player.
just fish during the whole off.
We're gonna. Okay.
Like some of us do work. Okay.
For what it's worth, fishing has. And you know what? You don't even deserve it. You don't even deserve my fishing talk. Let's do one player that's gonna bounce back, one player that's gonna regress. Let's start with 4 bounce backs, though. We'll each give one bounce back. I want to start with
All
you,
right,
Mike.
first bounce back, Garrett Wilson. Come on. Garrett Wilson for sure.
like
New
it.
York
Like
Jets, superstar player.
Are you just leaning into the New York crowd? Is that what you're doing?
I was going to say.
No, it's just I like good players. What can I say? I mean, they have a lot of good players in New
Sure.
York. We know that.
What is-
Yeah, look, I'm definitely on Garrett Wilson. 4th round ADP. We're getting a discount on him in drafts because he was hurt last year. But before that, this is not an injury-plagued player. His first 3 seasons in the NFL, he missed 0 games. The guy was super healthy, super productive. Top 7 in targets all 3 of those seasons. Last year was off to a really good start with shaky quarterback play. Frankly, I say what you want about Justin Fields in fantasy. He doesn't throw the ball that well or a lot. So, and Garrett Wilson was still putting up big numbers, over 14 fantasy points per game. And Geno Smith is going to provide an upgrade. And I'm going to save a little bit of the Geno Smith talk for a little bit later because we have another topic on what he means for the Jets pass catchers. But I will preface it, or I will foreshadow and just say it's going to be a good thing for Garrett Wilson.
That's exciting. In case you guys didn't want to stick around, we're going to talk about Geno Smith in a little bit.
We're going to talk about the Jets. We're going to talk about.
Are you ready for that?
We're talking about the Jets, who are headed the right direction. That's an improving football team.
What about you, Liz Loza?
I want to talk about Jayden Daniels because I think we have forgotten that he was the QB5 in fantasy as a rookie.
You can't. You're not allowed to say that. Don't say
Yeah.
that. He's the
He was
QB Jayden
between 4
Daniels.
and 6.
QB4
Yes,
plus 1.
yes. There you go. That's it.
Well, no way. It's him, so you can say 5 for him, right? You just can't say 5 for anyone
Anybody else.
Yeah.
Okay, is that what it
He
is?
was the QB5 in
Okay,
fantasy.
okay.
In 2024. I don't love the Laramie Tunsil injury news. That doesn't make
fair.
me feel great. But we do know what Jayden Daniels can be. And we have to forgive him, or at least recognize the fact that he was so injured. He dealt with a litany of issues last season, limiting him to just 4 healthy games. But the injuries didn't just stop at the quarterback position. Terry McLaurin was hit. Zach Ertz was hit. Austin Eckler was hit. And now Terry McLaurin is back to being healthy. Zach Ertz has been replaced with my guy, Chigo Conquo. Rashad White is replacing Austin Eckler. I just flew in yesterday, y'all. Come on. And Stephon Diggs bearing the lead, having a bit of a homecoming, will work in a nice possession capacity for the Commanders. So I think Daniels. I also like David Blau as the offensive coordinator. I think it's a good shift for him, and I do think he will bounce back nicely. He is my QB2, so I'm quite bullish on the situation. Lamar Jackson is most people's
If
QB.
he's your QB2, then being able to find him in drafts with where he's being
6th
drafted.
round,
Yeah, it must be really nice. Yeah,
Yes.
so you can wait and grab a guy that you like. Fields, what about you? What's a player you think will bounce back?
A bounce back. So I don't think if you look at the season-long finish for this player last year, you'll feel like, oh, yeah, he has to bounce back. But I just don't think it was nearly as smooth of sailing as we were hoping for going into last year. That's Ashton Jeanty, who Mike has said about the top 12 running backs finishing in the top 12, whatever number of years in a row. It wasn't great for Ashton Jeanty for a lot of last season. As you guys know, his offensive line was about as bad as you will ever see for a player. He had 1 run of 20-plus yards in the first 15 weeks of the season. He also led the NFL in rushing attempts during that stretch from weeks 1 to 15. The offensive line has literally nowhere to go but up. They spent every dollar available to get Tyler Linderbaum, the center, and it's a much better scheme as well. Clint Kubiak should make this a much better offense overall. Jeanty is a capable, not a dynamic pass catcher like a Jeremiyah Love, but a very capable pass catcher. So I could easily see Ashton Jeanty being a top 8 or so running back in 2026.
After finishing as RB12, he was drafted as what, RB6, RB7 last year, give or take. So the bounce
do it.
back.
Nobody do it.
Yeah,
No one do it.
Sorry, I didn't even mean it. I didn't even mean it like that. All right, I'm going to talk about a player that I think is going to bounce back. I think he's the best value in the first round. I've been saying this. It's easy to say it's the best value in the first round when he's being drafted at the end of the first round. But Justin Jefferson
Yeah, baby.
has never been drafted this late before. If there was ever a situation in which you were like, hey, Justin Jefferson, he's got, prior to last season, 4 straight years where he was a top 5 wide receiver, 5 straight years where he was a top 10 wide receiver. The dude was catching passes literally from the guy in the 3rd row and this woman over here, like for half of his career.
But
They've got a host.
You don't. That's rude.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you have no idea who he was catching the football from because half the time he was playing with quarterbacks that we don't feel like are at the same level that a lot of these other guys are playing with. So Justin Jefferson now getting Kyler Murray. I understand some of the concerns that we've got with Kyler. But I feel like I'm being held hostage in my brain if I allow myself to think that Justin Jefferson is going to continue to play poorly, because last year was not on Justin Jefferson. Last year was on the quarterback situation. He should be a top 10, top 5, potentially top 3, maybe the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy, because that's easily in his bag.
I agree with you, but isn't it kind of wild how we're just like, man, like Arizona's paying Kyler Murray so much money just to go away, and we're just like, big upgrade for Justin Jefferson. Like this guy, Arizona, a team that has struggled for so long, is like, get out of here.
Yeah.
We're like, huge news. But yeah, I mean, look, I've talked about this a little bit with Jefferson. A little worried about him getting back to that elite ceiling with Kyler because he's never really done it. There's only one receiver that's ever had a top 20 season with Kyler Murray. But again, it was a season where he fed DeAndre Hopkins. So we've seen him do that. If he does that with Justin Jefferson, which if he doesn't, he's not going to be playing much.
Hasn't happened since 2020.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a minute,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
My favorite stat about that, and maybe it's just because I had Hollywood Brown on my team, but when that DeAndre Hopkins season happened, Hollywood Brown was the number 1 wide receiver on that team through the first 8 weeks of the season. He was wide receiver 1 after the first 8 weeks of the season.
Yeah, he was like top 5 like halfway through, and then he got hurt.
And then he got hurt.
It was
Hopkins came
suspension.
back because of the suspension.
Yeah,
and then,
exactly.
So if you look at the wide receiver 1 in
Yeah.
that Cardinals offense, they smashed. That's the Kyler we're hoping to capture here.
Hopefully, yeah.
For the Justin Jefferson
Good coaching
offense.
there, too, which should help.
Yep.
No pressure, Kyler. All right.
Michael, why don't you give me a regression since it's kind of your thing?
Just for the
Regression.
Just for the record, before we reveal
Actually,
these
I
picks.
think this was a
Oh,
player.
hey,
Whoa, hold on.
Just for the record, the
What?
3 of you picked such obvious candidates. Like, come on, show some courage.
Oh, wow. You picked a good one, actually.
I did. Look at
All right.
you
No,
guys
no,
picked
that's
like
fair. That's fair.
duh, and
That's
duh.
fair.
So say your names, but like, how much time did you put into this pick?
Well, no, I don't want to say it now.
Go for it.
Now I feel sad about this. I was actually going to give Liz a shout out because I believe one of your favorite sleepers last year was my guy, and he panned out. Michael Wilson, right?
Yes.
Were you? Yeah, I thought you were
Yeah.
on Michael
I
Wilson.
liked him coming out of state.
Yeah, it just took so long for him to get going. His first 38 games in the NFL, 4.3 targets and 7.6 fantasy points per game. It
Seems not great.
Seems like it wasn't going to be very good. And then, of course, Jacoby Brissett takes over, 11 targets and 21.2 fantasy points per game. But here's why I think it's not going to continue anywhere close to where it was down the stretch. It wasn't just Jacoby Brissett under center, because he'll be under center again this year. Marvin Harrison Jr. was out. So what I wanted to do was look a little closer at what happened when it was Brissett, Harrison, and Wilson together in the second half, and if Wilson was still as good as he was when Harrison was out. And the question is really bad, actually. It'd surprise you. This is the fantasy points for Wilson, those 4 games. 7, 9.1, 7.4, and 6.6. In those games, Marvin Harrison, who we're just like right now, he's probably a bust, right? How about this? 7.8, not good. But then 22.6, 14.3, 12.9. So Harrison was actually delivering basically wide receiver 2 numbers those 4 games with Jacoby Brissett, and Michael Wilson was a non-factor. So I am very concerned about you have Trey McBride, you have a healthy Marvin Harrison, and also the second half last year, they were just like, we're done. We're just going to throw the ball every play. They were the pass-heaviest offense in the NFL. They were losing all the time. It's going to be a little different this year. It's going to be a more conservative offense. So
They'll
a lot of
still be
reasons to
losing
count
all
all
the
this.
time.
There's a projected
That's
win
not
total in
gonna
Arizona of
change.
3.5.
I know that, but it's schematic too. I mean, yes, the fourth quarter, they're going to be throwing a lot. It's going to be a little different than it was in the second half where it was just a free-for-all.
It's gonna be beautiful. I love those kind of teams.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're so fun.
This is like a Blake Bortles-esque,
So
like,
good.
like Jacoby Brissett is going to be feeding somebody in this offense. Is it Jeremiyah Love? Is
He's
it
gonna
Trey
get
McBride?
some.
Is it going to like?
Offense-
That's another thing. We know
catered
Love's
around
going to have a
him
huge
more, yeah.
season. So.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Field. What about you?
Well, you know,
Field
you
with
guys,
the smartest pick of the rest of us.
keep. You guys do your
All
softballs.
right, I'll do mine then.
Okay.
You
I'll
guys,
do
you
mine.
guys do your
Field can
softballs,
end.
and I'll bring some
No,
high
give me
heat.
time to prep for just to tear
Let me-
Fields to shreds.
I'll
I'm
do
ready for
mine.
this.
Yeah.
My regression player is Matthew Stafford, who is being drafted way too high based on ESPN ADP right now. What did he
are those
finish
guys?
as last year? Quarterback 2?
2.
Yeah, seems
Quarterback 2. Do you know what he finished as the year before that?
good. Quarterback
Like
100.
15.
Quarterback
16.
27.
Okay.
Yeah.
Year before that, he was quarterback 16. Year before that, he was quarterback 31. So for him to be able to repeat what he did, 4,700 passing yards, over 40 passing touchdowns, he had 1 rushing yard. It is so hard
favorite
to be
stat.
a good fantasy quarterback when you can't run the football.
Amazing.
So yes, major regression alert for Matthew Stafford. I love him. He's unbelievable. If I ever had a child of my own, I would name him John Matthew Stafford Daniel Dopp.
Really?
I would think about it.
Yeah.
But big time regression, I think, coming from Matthew Stafford, just because as a non-mobile quarterback, what he did last year was like elite. elite as a passer. It's so difficult to repeat that.
I hear you, but that team is so good. He might put up another 40 passing touchdowns. Like, if there's ever, usually when you were talking about guys like that, you're like, all right, some things changed in the offense and on the team. The Rams are stacked.
I say Matthew Stafford does not throw 40 passing touchdowns in 2026.
All right, let's just do it. I say Matthew Stafford does throw 40 passing touchdowns in 2026.
Put it on the board.
That was
my friends.
You can't just.
I basically bullied Mike into a thing. I definitely got the
I was
better
just
end of
gonna
it
say,
there.
You did, because that was an emotional decision.
That was.
You put me on the spot because
How did it feel?
a true statistician would never take that.
You would have
bet.
never taken
it's
that
under
bet.
every time. You always hammer the
always.
unders.
By the way, I'm not mesmerized by this table. I've just been sitting here thinking about it. That like from here to this table is Matthew Stafford's projected rushing output for the year.
How incredible is that?
That's wild. Like,
17
he's going to run this far in 17
He had
games.
26 rush attempts, and he got this many feet in those 26 rush attempts last year.
Yeah,
That's
he
wild.
was negative for a while, so he made up for that down the stretch. Okay?
Unbelievable.
He was
That year,
cooking.
He picked
had
it up. He
3
picked it
rushing
up.
yards in the last 19
But
games. Yeah, he was
you
cooking.
are right, Field. That is kind of an obvious regression with Matthew Stafford. Liz,
Well, Liz can give us another
who do you
one.
have
Yeah.
there as your regression?
Well, I'm going to piggyback, but ours is a little bit different because the ADPs are vast. Mine is Davante Adams, who is currently being drafted in the 5th round, which is why I don't think it's such a gimme.
Okay.
Now, Davante Adams
Much
averaged
better points than Daniel.
middle rounds.
For the
Middle
Rams.
rounds. That's fair.
Davante Adams averaged nearly 16 fantasy points per game. He obviously led the league in receiving scores with 14, but 110 of Adams' 223 total fantasy points came via end zone looks. For context, that's more than double of any flex player in 2025 and the most since Randy Moss achieved a similar mark back in 2007, which means it is not sustainable, it is not going to be repeatable, and it is screaming regression, not to mention the fact that he's entering his age 33 season. He turns 34 on Christmas Eve, and as Daniel pointed out, he's attached to a 38-year-old quarterback who has a history of back problems.
Seems not great. I mean, I don't really have a hole to poke into that argument. It's just,
I would just rather have Ladd McConkey in the 5th round. They're going around the same place. So if I'm having my choices and I'm thinking about last year versus this year, there's a player who I think could break out.
The young
this
lad.
year, the young lad.
Let me ask you
versus
guys.
Somebody who's not going to put up the same numbers.
Let's ask the crowd. Can you guys, we practice this audience participation. If you'd rather have Davante Adams over Ladd McConkey, let me hear you cheer a little bit here for this one. If you'd rather have Ladd McConkey than Davante Adams, let me hear it from you. So people are more in on the young buck than they are on Davante Adams,
Little
more on the Liz Loza side.
crosstown Los Angeles rivalry.
Look
That's
at
right.
that right there.
What about
All
you,
right.
Field Yates?
All right, let's
what
go
about
out.
this unbelievable pick that you had that's so much better than all of ours?
Yeah, tune in. He's way smarter than us. Let's hear what you got here.
You guys be nice.
All right,
Stop it.
couldn't,
Be
my,
nice.
Ours
my,
is-
my ears went out for a second. Could you repeat that?
No.
No.
George Pickens. There's a pick right there.
All right, that's spicy.
That's a
All right,
pretty hot
spicy,
take.
Field.
George Pickens,
it's
who I think he's an amazing talent, right? I think just about everything that could go right for George Pickens in a season did go right for George Pickens in a season last year.
Yes, I think you're right.
A lengthy CeeDee Lamb absence because of a high ankle sprain that was suffered in like the 3rd week of the season. That helped George Pickens. Now, he was still very productive when CeeDee Lamb was around, but not quite as productive when CeeDee Lamb was around. Beyond that, playing in what he thought was probably his contract year. Ended up not being a contract year for George Pickens because he got franchise tag, but there's tons of contract motivation for him. On top of that, the Dallas Cowboys defense was literally the worst defense any of us have ever laid eyes on. Every game for the Cowboys was a shootout. I don't know if this defense is
Did you
going
watch
to be.
the Bengals play defense last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, fair.
Okay.
You know what? Honestly, fair. They both stunk. They were
They
both
were
terrible.
both really
they were
bad.
both awful. So the opportunities, I just think, can go down a little bit for this offense because they're not going to need to throw the football literally every down because they're either playing from behind or playing in a shootout. It's going to be a better defense overall. I think George Pickens is a bit of a regression, so I am less in on George Pickens this year. I'm just saying, we're trying to talk about potential cliffs.
I like it.
Little cliff.
I like
cliff,
it.
A mini bump. Also, now that he's on the franchise tag, and like that's big money for this year, like just whatever, 20-some million bucks, like that hamstring starts to feel tight. It's like Mike. Mike goes on vacation the first week of the podcast every year.
No, I didn't go on vacation. I just went on vacation.
He went on vacation. Yeah, there was no air quotes for that.
No, I thought you were just going to you were complaining about more contract demands or something. So
No,
yes.
look, I want to slam that take, but like it was well constructed, and I've been an advocate of the Dallas defense. Unfortunately, I think they're going to be much better. So fair, and I did rank him a little bit lower. So I have to be a little bit practical here. I will say this though, If you look at the games in which he played with CeeDee Lamb, he was still averaged over 16 fantasy points per game. That would have been wide receiver 8 for the season. So I think there's a short list of teams that could have 2 receivers in the top 10 or 12 this year. Bengals would be one that stand out. Maybe Rams if Davante Adams still gets pepper near the goal line.
Browns.
Certainly not the Browns. But certainly the Cowboys are on that list.
Browns fan, you think it could happen, right?
Oh, Browns fan?
There's at least
No, you're a realist. You're a Browns fan and a realist. Yes.
Look, I've been drafting an embarrassing amount of Browns this year.
Aren't you creating batteries with the Browns?
Liz, don't.
Nice, Liz.
Don't feed into that.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
What can the Browns do
That's
for
a bad
you?
battery.
Not much.
That's a bad battery.
All right. One more quick reminder for you guys. V.org/ESPN. Pediatric cancer is actually the most underfunded forms of cancer research that is out there. We are trying to raise $10 million to be able to help defeat pediatric cancer. So if you can go to V.org/ESPN, 100% of your donation goes to pediatric cancer research. Liz Loza, you do an iconic piece called Facts versus Feelings. Some say that it is the best thing that ESPN Fantasy has done since the advent of the internet. Some have said that. And I wanted to...
Or the Shadow Report.
Are you feeling... Okay, sure, the Shadow Report. People read that. But you've got a facts versus feelings versus gut feelings. You've got a facts versus feelings for us and the crew.
So, yes, I am going to read a statement, and then the three of you are going to say whether it is a fact or a feeling. We're going to do 3. Okay, so the first one... fact or feeling, Justin Herbert finishes as a top 8 producer at the position. I think we know where Field is going to go with this one. But top 8, I have all of your rankings.
It's a conservative, obviously, forecast for him. Fact, duh.
I say it's a fact as well.
Nice, Daniel.
I think the last time Herbert achieved that was I don't think you had a beard yet at that point.
Wow.
That was a long time ago. So I can't remember back that far when he was at that level. So it's hard for me to think he could do it this year. So of course, fiction.
I want to think if you in the audience think he could do top 8, give me a cheer here real quick for Justin Herbert.
Wait, it's not can.
It's a great crowd. It's a great crowd.
It's a good crowd.
Okay.
No, he can do it, but it's will he?
Will he do it?
For context, in our rankings, Daniel and I have Herbert ranked QB9. We're in agreement. I would say it's a fact as well. Obviously, Field has him QB6 and Mike has him QB14. So everybody played along nicely with that.
Do you not like her music? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I mean, look, you do lose fantasy points for bad songs, so yeah.
Wow,
That's
pretty good.
All right.
Okay. Do you know any of her songs?
No.
Not surprised.
Is that the Killers? I know them. Is that?
It's the only band. It's the only band.
It's the only band I know. I don't know any other bands.
We've made real strides.
Killers and Taylor Swift. I got them covered.
On the bright side,
Oh my God!
I have another one.
That was a Killers reference.
Best in the business. Hall of Fame.
So
comment.
good.
Fact or feeling, Carnell Tate clears 1,000 receiving yards in his rookie effort.
You're picking all my guys. Fact.
Yeah.
Fact.
Yeah, so again, if the numbers persons should always say under, but my projection is what, 10-24?
It is.
For him?
Yeah. Way to remember. I thought I could get you on that one.
I'll lean a hair on the over for him. The history of wide receivers.
Give you a reason before I say mine, Mike. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. You got it.
No, let's hear your in-depth analysis, numbers guy.
One of the reasons why I'm really in. No, Mike, you go first. You go first. And then I'll go after you. I'll
Okay.
piggyback.
All right, I will. So, yeah,
One
you
of
just
the
wait.
reasons why
Okay, so this is what's happening.
Listen.
No,
go ahead.
No, you.
Okay.
You steal my Tyler Warren. Then you steal my Michael Pittman Jr. I'm a Michael Jr. I get Michael Jr.'s. I have first name of Michael Jr.'s.
Hide your wife.
Oh, no.
No?
No.
So anyway,
I do remember
Carnell
it.
Tate.
I don't think you should not say it.
Carnell Tate. Look, the history of wide receivers drafted in the first round. I used a similar stat when I was talking earlier about running backs. It's very similar for wide receivers picked in the top 10. Those guys over the past 10 years are averaging a 25% target share, which is enormous. Enormous is like what you get into the 30s, but 25 is that's wide receiver 2 territory, and that's almost always where these guys deliver. If they're healthy, they're wide receiver 2s or 3s, and I have some hesitation about the quarterback situation.
Sure.
Cam Ward has to make a year 2 leap, but that is the year where quarterbacks generally do make the leap. So I'm optimistic about Carnell Tate.
I would say 1,000 yards as well is in the bag because of the lack of receiving options behind him and the fact that the dude is a stud. I mean, I've listened to that Field in first draft talking about it with Mel Kiper Jr., so I've been paying attention there. But I think 1,000 yards is in the bag here for
I think
Carnell
they
Tate.
kind of quietly could have a decent wide receiver room.
Yeah,
like
Wan'Dale
Wan'Dale Robinson is going to probably
Like
catch
Wan'Dale
90
around here,
footballs.
right?
And Calvin Ridley, if he's 32, he might have another year left,
Yeah.
at least as a guy that's going
Calvin
to
Ridley
soak up a
played
handful
too
of
much in
targets.
Week 1 of the preseason. When I see a 32-year-old
Not
play
happy
that many snaps in the preseason of Week 1, I'm like, you are.
I feel that. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I wonder if he could get
for
traded.
the record, Mike's projection, 121 targets, 75 catches, 1,024 receiving yards, and 4 touchdowns.
where are you guys at on Carnell Tate? Do you think he can hit 1,000 receiving yards? If you think so, let me hear it.
That
is
is
low.
I like the whoa, the one with.
Got a bunch of Michigan fans in here. Right
I think
now.
there's a Titans fan in the back.
A lot of Wan'Dale. Okay, there's too much Wan'Dale potentially in this offense.
Giants
Interesting.
territory. Yeah.
All right.
All right. What else you
Wan'Dale
got?
Robinson's going to catch 120 balls and for 800 yards.
No
for
doubt.
like,
Yes. 4 yards
they-
per catch.
Right.
Yes.
Watch. I think they all watched too much of the Titans last year because it was ugly. That was ugly last
All
year.
right, I have
you
one
wanted none of that
last one.
offense.
Bring it to me, Liz Loza.
All right, last one. Fact or feeling, the fantasy-focused listeners are the most knowledgeable, most passionate, and best-looking listeners in the entire podosphere.
You had it in the last one.
That is a fact.
Absolutely,
Fact.
Liz Loza. That's a fact.
Own cold fact.
Oh my
And you
God.
said I was playing to the crowd. Okay.
You're not a listener. Obviously, Mike doesn't listen to the podcast. Not good looking. Okay, guys, come on, somebody. Jeez. All right, let's talk about some
Make two
fantasy.
better jokes.
That was
Two better
mean.
jokes.
That was kind of mean. That wasn't normally a thing I would do. I apologize.
No,
about
you
that.
did- no, you
Michael,
would.
I apologize. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I love you, man.
I apologize. All right,
Bro,
I accept
Chacho.
your apology.
I love you, bro.
Here's some unbranded hydration for you.
This is just awkward now. Let's move
Let's talk about some New York sports teams, and the fanny discussion around New York sports team will start with the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen's pretty good at football field, Yates.
Guys. So technically the only NFL team that plays its home games in New York, right?
Yeah, technically the only at New York.
That's all. It's the only team we're talking about. Just, it's just
Honestly, like with the Bills, though, there's really not a lot to talk about other than DJ Moore, right? We all feel great about Josh Allen as quarterback one. It's just a matter of how high you're going to take him, how soon you're going to take him.
Are you drafting him? I think all of us are probably out on Josh Allen because we wouldn't take the first quarterback off the board
I will have some Josh Allen exposure for sure.
just to do it.
Yeah, he's too good of a player to not have, but on average, Josh Allen is going to be less likely than more likely to be my quarterback.
Fair.
James Cook, awesome back-to-back seasons with 12-plus rushing touchdowns and 2-plus receiving touchdowns. I don't know, there's not a whole lot to say about James Cook.
Pretty sick.
He's going to go the back end of the first, early portion of the second. It all comes down to whether DJ Moore can be a thing, right? Recent history has not been on the side of a Bills wide receiver. It's been since Stephon Diggs was there that they had a really game-changing fantasy football wide receiver. They paid legitimate cash and draft capital to acquire DJ Moore, but they also have a lot of bodies there. DJ Moore is ranked as my wide receiver 27, so I'm good with wide receiver 27, yes. But I also not so optimistic that I'm moving mountains to acquire DJ Moore.
Would you be shocked if he, in this Buffalo offense, if he finishes wide receiver 18? You wouldn't be shocked by that.
That would be probably higher end outcomes.
That'd be higher than Mike. So would you, as a wide receiver too, you think that might be a
I
little
think
more
he
than?
could definitely get to a wide receiver 2 level. It's just going to be a matter of if he can kind of defy what we've seen from Bills wide receivers in
Everybody
recent
eats.
years. Like Khalil Shakir would be sort of fantasy relevant in that short area role, didn't score many touchdowns, and he was pushing like a 23% target share.
96 targets.
You're not comparing
I think DJ
Khalil
Moore-
Shakir's skill set to DJ Moore, though, are you?
No, that's what I'm saying.
but I
But
think
if the
as
target share
target
is
leader with 96.
right, if the target share, if the
Understood.
usage is similar, except for you actually get work near the goal line, which Shakir
Yardage.
never got, you might actually be able to deliver wide receiver 2 numbers.
Yeah, because you would
In a
get more
great
target
offense.
share because of the fact that we think you're
Also, we need them to throw near the goal line a little bit. It's all Cook and Allen running the ball.
Can you blame them for that?
Yeah,
I don't blame them at all,
That's
but
a tough
it's
strategy,
something that can limit DJ
For
Moore.
DJ Moore,
You knew
yeah.
right now he was going to score 4 touchdowns.
Totally fair.
He wouldn't be as he wouldn't be as appealing.
It's also a role that this team has efforted to fill for so long, and now they finally have a downfield, veteran, reliable option, someone that Josh Allen can actually look to and know will adjust for him. So I think that because and because of the investment made, there is more hope that this will actually turn into something rather, especially also given the Super Bowl window, right? There is a real opportunity here, and DJ Moore happens to be that guy, and he's not flashy. He does also have a pretty solid strength of schedule for the position, the 18th easiest. Last year, it was the 3rd most difficult. Obviously, Chicago was a different situation, but I think you're getting a flex play in terms of ADP with wide receiver 2 upside.
The there's a huge difference to me with DJ Moore. I'm more optimistic, and I'll have to look at where I have him ranked. But where he was last year in Chicago, we were already, and I don't think it was just us, kind of turning the page to the future on the new kids that were going to be a part of this offense. And DJ Moore was on the sideline being like, I'm ready to be somewhere else. Like, we all saw it. This is a situation where the Bills have been like trying like crazy to find a guy. So DJ Moore being able to potentially smash in this spot, I really like. In the middle rounds, not a bad wide receiver to be able to grab. I would like to know which one of you wants to jump through the flaming table that we are about to bring out now.
That's what this is.
Okay.
Light it up. That's what it's.
That's what it's here for?
There's nothing to it. It's just plain. It's just a plain table.
Gosh, I just broke my chair.
Break the chair.
Oh,
I told you it was going
I
to
just broke my chair. We did this happen.
No, you're
did
supposed
have
to
that
break the
gigantic
table,
plate
not
of nachos for lunch. It actually makes more sense.
Was a lot. Let's talk about the New York Jets. Mike T's Geno Smith. All you the Geno Smith heads that stuck around finally get to have the payoff here.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's
Talk
the
about
payoff.
the Jets.
So the payoff is that you think Geno Smith, you're thinking that can't be much of an upgrade,
You
right?
really
But
meant it. You really want to talk about Geno Smith?
no, I do. I
Okay,
do.
sorry about that. I
And
thought
here's
this was
why.
a joke,
I think
guys.
I think this would surprise people. Okay, and actually, again, I do the research. All right, I prep.
Someone's
some
got to.
people.
Someone's got to.
So I look back at the last time we saw extended work from Geno Smith in a normal situation. We're not going to count the Raiders last year because that was a disaster. But his 3 seasons in Seattle, the 3 years before that, the Seahawks were top 10 in passing yards and wide receiver fantasy points during those 3 years. So Geno Smith, say what you want about him, he was able to get the ball in the hands of his skill guys. 3 different wide receivers during that stretch had a top 16 fantasy season. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Jackson Smith and Jigba. 1 year, 2 of them did, Lockett and DK Metcalf. So, again, he's able to, at the very minimum, get the ball in the hands of his top skill guys. That's why Garrett Wilson is in for a career year. And, again, we're getting him in the 4th round. Give me that all day long.
It's stability.
Not Geno Smith. Garrett Wilson. We're
Garrett
getting
Wilson.
4th round.
I'm fading on Garrett Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Garrett
just,
Wilson,
I don't know. I don't have as much optimism in Geno Smith, man. I think this might just be the end.
Whoa.
It's been a rough preseason.
Whoa.
See?
All right, well, then, here's some stats on Cade Klubnik. He's the next great thing. Give me one more year, Geno
That
Smith.
was a good joke, Mike. Come on.
That was good. I have waning optimism for Geno Smith. I'm starting to sense the Jets fans are kind of hoping Klubnik starts by like the season opener. Like maybe training camp will be a mirage for Geno Smith, but it does not sound like this is a player who has found the fountain of youth, and for those reasons,
Somebody's just mad that Alan Lazard's not around anymore.
I think that's
He's
what
out
it
of the
is. I think that's what it is.
That's an old school
Lazard
focus show.
is currently
A free agent.
Oh, wow, interesting. That's one way of describing him. He also is taking a headshot to prepare for his gold jacket and his.
Oh, is that right? No
Yes.
way. Okay. He's going to the Fantasy Football Hall of Fame?
No, the NFL Hall, the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said gold jacket. That's what I was thinking was the Hall of Fame. I was so confused. You're right. No, okay, I understand now where we're at. Got it.
So we're done with Alan Lazard jokes now.
We're out. Yeah, now let's move on to the Giants. Do we have any good Giants jokes? Honestly, the Giants.
Oh, Daniel had a great Giants joke last night.
Don't do it. Come on.
It was great.
We're gonna thank you for whoever that is.
Yeah.
My agent sitting
All
back
right.
there.
Why is Field trying to get Daniel canceled?
That's
now?
right.
Like, what's
It's not getting canceled.
No.
And if he has a bad game, you can call him.
That's right. You can call him Jackson Fart.
Yeah.
No big deal. Him, Cam Scattaboo, and Malik Neighbors. Honestly, all 3 of these dudes could be studs in fantasy football. All 3 of these dudes are also kind of walking red flags when it comes to some of
it's
the
a little
injury
volatile.
issues. Yeah. So, Liz, just as an expert on red flags, why don't we start with you on the New York Giants?
Wow. Shots across the bow.
Wow, I'm recovering. I know. I mean, we talked about.
She's flummoxed.
Do you need a minute? Do you want to?
I do one Kool-Aid Man impression.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, and there.
That was good.
That was good.
Daniels was really good.
Well, you already talked up Jaxson Dart. Malik Neighbors, I do see him getting healthier. I believe Harbaugh said earlier that he's not going to start until he's out of the red non-contact jersey, which is important to note. So let's monitor that. But we know what a star he was as a rookie and all the records that he broke and the volume that he should see. And yes, Jaxson Dart and he have connected for exactly 3 passes in regular season action. But I guess rapport is something that you can build. Maybe they can play Madden together or something. And Scattaboo, we just added Najee Harris to this backfield, but I think that had more to do with Tyrone Tracy than it did with Cam Scattaboo. So there's optimism, but it's cautious because of the obvious injury history, but I think at least as far as Cam Scadaboo is concerned, that volatility is baked into the ADP.
I think that's a fair thing to say, although when you have 4 running backs, I don't love it. Like adding a veteran this late.
I don't think they're all staying.
Yeah.
I don't
think
think
one
none
of
of them play
them's getting
special
the boot?
teams, or none of them played special teams last year. I don't think I would imagine if Najee Harris is in shape and he makes the team, I would guess
He's making the
Singletary's out. You think you're sure?
Got $3 million guaranteed.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if he got signed now and he.
It kind of contradicts what John Harbaugh said when they signed. But anyway, whatever. It does. I don't. Let me say this. I don't care if he makes the team. I still like Cam Scadaboo.
Wow.
Yes,
I don't care who the other running backs are. Cam Scadaboo by far has the highest ceiling. And when we saw him in extended action last year, 6 games he played a bulk of the snaps. As the lead back for the Giants, he had 6 touchdowns, averaged over 19 fantasy points per game. That would have been ranked 6th at running back over the full season. And he was very involved as a pass catcher as well.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And this offense could be good. Like the offensive line is fine. Yeah. The skill guys, if they're healthy, are pretty good. I mean, the Giants' offense could be good. So honestly, I like that the Harris thing happened because Scadaboo was already a target of mine in the 4th round, and now people are a little more concerned he might fall a little further.
Yeah,
Presses
5th
the
round,
ADP
I don't
a little
think
bit.
one had anything to do
cheaper.
with the
Mark's boot.
Okay.
Look at that. Did you sign Najee Harris for the Giants?
Yeah, I did. I made that happen.
Nice. Well done.
Yeah. Anything to move ADPs, I'll do it.
Doesn't make sense. I thought you were the defensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Special teams.
Special teams
Yeah.
coordinator of the
Get
offense.
it right.
Yeah.
I wear a lot of hats. Again, some of us work year round. We're always busy, you know?
You don't really wear hats.
Any way to get into a locker room and into the coaching room so I can get inside info, that's how hard I work, okay? I will be a special teams coach for a team to get all the info.
I can just imagine you walking in with like a trench coat and like
A hat.
and a hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Press.
I do what it takes.
I could
the
see
suit.
Mike
No.
opening up that trench coat. He's just got water bottles everywhere that he's like trying to be able to make sure he's good with. You'd be a weird.
Or he's like on field shoulders.
You guys-
Stop it. They're
They're super
stacked on
tall.
top
Yeah,
of
yeah,
each
yeah.
other in a trench coat. How cute would that be? 5'7" Mike Clay.
If I'm 6'3" and you're 5'7",
right, that's
do
right.
Math.
Hey, I'm almost
They'd have to
6'2".
be. He'd have to be let in.
That's true.
So intimidating.
Let's talk about some mock draft advice, my friends.
Okay, let's do it.
We've done, obviously, we talked about it at the very beginning. Guys, we can't stop drafting. We've done so many different mock drafts. I don't know if you guys do them, but I really, truly, please hear it in my voice, want to encourage you to do mock drafts because it is so important to be able to understand how the draft landscape is going to play out. You're going to have guys that are going to get taken in front of you that you weren't expecting, and being able to understand and read the board.
Yeah.
Is so valuable to not be able to panic when you have someone empty your queue in front of you. We have a bunch of mock drafts that we have done. Any takeaways that you have from the mock drafts or things that you feel like this is what I've learned this year from all the drafts that we finished?
Yeah, I think you probably have already heard this from me or multiple of us so far this preseason. But the thing that, and we talked about this a little bit in the Josh Allen conversation, is just on average, I am waiting at quarterback this year. Even if you are not a fan of a Matthew Stafford second straight good season, there's just so many options. I like Justin Herbert, as you guys all know. You can also get him very late. He's going to go. If I take a Drake May or a Jalen Hurts early, I'm seeing Justin Herbert go until the 10th, 11th, 12th round. Trevor Lawrence, Brock Purdy, Caleb Williams can make the leap this year. Jordan Love, I have more optimism on the rest of the group. Like, there's just a lot of Kyler Murray has been traditionally a very good fantasy quarterback. Tyler Shuck looked really good down the stretch last year. There's just a Jared Goff, obviously. There's just a lot of really capable quarterbacks this year that I love, just absolutely pounding the pavement at running back, wide receiver, tight end for the first 10, 11 rounds, and then sneaking a couple of late-round quarterbacks in.
I'd like to say the opposite of that because I am fully in on exactly what Field is saying and waiting on the quarterback position. But where I am not doing that because it is not as deep of a position is the tight end spot, where I am very definitely targeting a tight end at least in the middle rounds. If I don't want to get a Brock Bowers or Trey McBride, I think there is a spot in the middle rounds that I need to walk away with one of those few guys, the Colston Loveland, the Tyler Warren.
So if those two guys are gone, though, I'm interested because we keep talking about those two guys since they're in the next tier. But how do you feel about Kyle Pitts and Harold Fannin?
And on Kyle Pitts, I'm fine with that scar tissue. I have dealt with it. I've gone to therapy.
Fantasy's tight end too last season.
Yeah, we fixed it. Harold Fannin, I'm in on. I think he is he's the safest option as a receiver in that Cleveland Browns offense.
Okay.
Sam Laporta.
Sam Laporta
An
now
injury.
dealing with with an injury, coming obviously back from back surgery. This is going to be a tough one for me.
Is it a hip today, too?
Yeah, it was a hip. He got banged up.
I wanted
And
to just give you another name because you were just like, I'm in on all tight ends. You were just like in on him. You just went through like 7 you're in on. So
do you not like tight ends, Mike?
No, I don't. None of them. I'm not drafting one.
Well, hey, Liz, what's your biggest piece of advice you've learned this preseason through mock drafts?
You know, people
get
have
us
said
out of
this
that
a
one.
lot, but
That one just didn't land at all, did it?
No, it didn't. Well, it landed for these ones that moved down pretty quickly.
running back dries up very quickly, which is why in my first 3 rounds, I want 2 running backs and a top tier wide receiver every single draft. Those are the 2 positions that I am targeting in the first 3 rounds. If I can pick from any spot, I want the 9 spot because I can get CeeDee Lamb and James Cook in the first 2 rounds, and I love that start.
Fair.
Love it. I'm with you on that. Love being able to draft at the end of drafts. Mike, what about you?
You want to draft?
All right, and we're out of time, guys. Let's take some questions.
You were so excited to make that joke.
I
You said
wanted it so badly.
You said I like to draft at the end of drafts. You didn't even make any sense.
I
You just
couldn't.
said-
I was so excited. I was so pumped.
Anyway, my take
Sorry.
is it's kind of going to fall in line. Like if you're waiting a little bit, waiting till let's say the middle rounds for tight end, and you're waiting at quarterback, and there's all this receiver value.
Yep.
What are you doing early? You're getting running backs this year. I mean, I feel like I have a top 20 that I feel really comfortable with, and it ends with like guys like Scattaboo and Judkins, and then after that you go down to like Bucky Irving and a lot of these guys that are in committees, and I don't feel as good about any of them. But those top 20 running backs are going to fly off the draft board in the first 3 or 4 rounds. So I am out like 0 running back, not even something I'm thinking about this year. If you want to wait on your second running back because of how the board's falling, fine. But it's very likely I'm going to take 2 running backs in the first 3 rounds.
Yep.
And if it's a deeper, like if you have a flex and somebody falls, you could take 3. You really could. I mean, I don't prefer it, but you could do it just the way that the draft board is set up this year. There's just so little depth
I
at
feel
that
like
position.
those flex running backs that you're looking at, you're really either looking at Bucky Irving, who I'm pretty out on, Jadarian Price, or
Exactly.
David Montgomery.
It's
Like,
very-
those are
very
you gotta
dead
hope
zone
one
feel
of
to
those
it.
3 falls to you.
Okay. I think that if I'm waiting on that second running back, to be honest, it's a strategy that I've tried really hard to implement in mock drafts. It's tough to pull off, and especially in 12-team leagues.
Yeah.
It's even harder. You really have to know your draft board if you're going to try to wait on that second running back and not grab them both early, because you're really threading a needle, hoping that someone doesn't come off your queue. Because if you're waiting for that RB2 and then you get a run before you're left at a running back spot that's so difficult to be able to try to fix later on in the
Yeah,
season.
if that top 20's gone and I don't have my RB2, I'm just like,
It's
oh,
tough.
I'm not going to be happy with my team
Mendoza
when I'm done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. All right. I think we got some questions here, my friends. Some questions here coming up from our producer, Christina. Let's give her a round of applause.
Hey, Christina.
Thank you, Christina. Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Can't wait for whatever comes next at the quarterback spot. Christina's first question is, when is Aaron Rodgers? No, it's not true. This one comes from Daniel B., New York, New York. Daniel, if you want to be a part of Only Dan's later on this season as a part of me and Dan Graziano, let me know. Are the Giants for real or what? Be honest, guys. There's a lot of excitement around these kids. Are they for real? Can they make any noise in the NFC East?
I think they can. This division, I think the Eagles are deserved favorites in this division, but I think all 4 teams entered the year with some level of optimism. Maybe the Commanders have the least amount of optimism right now because of the Laramie Tunsil injury and some of the holes they had to patch up this offseason, but I just don't think that John Harbaugh, who had basically the pick of the litter in terms of jobs this offseason, besides Ravens, was going to go somewhere that he did not fully believe he could win, and he could win soon. So I'm buying that the Giants are going to make a dramatic improvement this year and maybe sneak into the back end of the playoff picture.
I like that. I love it. All right, shout out to you, Daniel. Good luck there. Lucas from Long Island wants to know, if I wait to draft a quarterback later, who is the better pick? Mike Clay, is it Matthew Stafford or is it Caleb Williams?
Ooh, close
great
call. I
question.
have these guys back to back. I have a Stafford at 12, Caleb at 13. So this is a really tough call. I think obviously Caleb is more well-rounded. I think his floor is probably a little higher just because he runs the ball more.
Yeah.
But I honestly believe in this Rams offense. I think they're going to go back to back with like just an absurd offense. I think he's going to put up huge passing numbers. Obviously, he's going to throw 40 touchdowns, as we determined earlier in this program. So, I'm still in on Stafford, but again, I have them back-to-back in a giant tier of quarterbacks. I think the right answer here is actually whoever goes later, like in your draft. Whoever falls further is who I'm fine with. And frankly, I haven't drafted much Caleb because the consensus is much higher on him. He's like quarterback 6, and I'm obviously a little bit lower than that. So
The consensus is quarterback 6 for Caleb
I
Williams?
believe, I believe he's going generally like QB6, QB7, right in that range.
Oh, my.
Yeah,
Caleb
Stafford's a little
Williams?
later. Yeah.
Really? Wow.
I'm looking it up. That sounds made
That's
up
crazy.
to me.
No, just across the industry.
The only thing that
Why
I
would
would
you not
say
think that? He finished,
beyond
what did he finish last year? 4th?
I don't believe most of the things that you say.
Caleb Williams?
Yeah, yes. What are we talking about right now?
We're talking about Caleb Williams.
Did anyone
finished
not? Caleb
Fourth or
Williams
fifth last year?
in fantasy points.
Caleb Williams did?
Liz, is that true? You're a Bears fan.
Have I been sleeping for a long time?
I don't want to be a part of it.
All right, Daniel, you look this up.
No. You guys keep talking.
We got thirsty
me.
Kyle Soppe here somewhere making sure that he's looking stuff up for us. He was 5. He finished as QB 5.
There you go. So
Caleb Williams was quarterback 5 last year?
Kevin Pulsifer sitting over there
All
helping
right,
us
so
out.
Fields he's been just doing draft stuff and on vacation since last year, since like midway through last year.
Wow, I did not
apparently.
realize that. I guess there's value in playing 17 games. My only contribution to this conversation. No, I'm serious. Like,
I agree with
I mean,
you.
you ran a lot.
What about
you did a lot
CMC?
with
Let's
this
have that
league.
same conversation.
my only contribution to this is I actually don't mind going with both. Right? It's like if you're waiting until round 12 to get a quarterback, take 2 quarterbacks.
Caleb Williams, ESPN, is coming off the board as the 11th quarterback in the 10th round.
Okay.
Yes, that ESPN is.
Matthew Stafford coming off the board as the 8th quarterback, 3 quarterbacks ahead of Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
In the 8th round.
I'm still
Yes,
surprised
and of
by
course
that.
we've talked. Yeah, that's a little bit influenced by our draft room, of course. But yes, in the industry, Caleb is.
I would be more
well
on
thought of.
Caleb Williams for what it's worth than Matthew Stafford. All right, this next question comes from Kalen from Edgewater, New Jersey. I play in a keeper league, Kalen. Congratulations on that. My top 2 choices, that wasn't meant to be a joke. My top 2 choices are Christian McCaffrey or Puka Nacua.
Wow.
Do I stick with McCaffrey or roll the dice with Puka's potential
I
suspension?
love that someone else
This
is a red flag
good
queen.
question.
This is a good one.
But let's assume that the tax is the same, right? It's not like
Yeah.
you can keep CMC in the 3rd or Puka in the 8th. I'm
Yep.
assuming it's the same.
Do you go with the running back because it's a running back? Because
That's where I listen. I mean, we talked about these guys a lot. We did our top 25 rankings earlier today. I'm keeping CMC just because, as Mike noted a few moments ago, the running back depth, so razor thin. Like that Mendoza line, whether it's Cam Scatterbu, whether it's DeAndre Swift, it's not a big number of running backs this year.
My only hesitation with that is, and again, we don't have all the context here, but like if you could keep this player for the next 6 or 7 years,
Fair. Don't do
Nacua. No, I'm not. I'm just saying, like Nacua.
Just don't do 6 or 7.
I'm not doing it. I didn't do it. You brought it up. You're talking about it. Nacua can, he's gonna be around a lot longer. This might be it for CMC.
Yes,
this
right.
might be his last season. So
Another good caveat.
Nacua, longer term, he's the answer.
This one comes from Noah from Chestnut Hill, Mass. Softball question. Liz, will you marry me? Wow.
Again?
Okay. Happens often. Liz?
I know. I guess just raking in
Don't
the
know.
proposal.
All right.
You get proposed to every live show.
That's not even actually the
back-to-back
question.
live shows?
Question is,
3 in a
Gibbs
row.
or Bajan for what it's worth. I just assumed Liz would be the number 1 overall pick if we had a choice, but I know that they want to know. Gibbs or Bajan, who are you taking number 1 overall?
Bijan for me. We've talked about this ad nauseum. We're splitting hairs. I love his durability. I love his size. I love that he's only 24. And I love that he's in an offense that likes to establish the run with Kevin Stefanski and that Tyler Algier is no longer available to poach the goal line as regularly.
Love that. Zach Katz from Wayland, Mass. wants to know, how will Drake May affect LeBron's legacy?
Yes! What a question. I know Wayland. I grew up town over from Wayland.
Did you really?
I did, yeah. Great question. It's, you know what?
I'm not sure I get the question.
No, I do. I think there's a chance that by the time it's all said and done, Drake May bypasses LeBron James as the second best player in NBA history.
Wow. Okay. I like it.
Is that because
I
you
don't
think
even know how
LeBron
to
is
answer
going to
that.
go to the
No, I'm
Celtics
so
when
glad
he's
that Fields
45?
is here.
No, I get the spirit of the question. For real, though, if we're starting an NBA team made up exclusively of NFL players,
Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham. I hear he played basketball.
Drake May would be legit top, like, probably number 1 pick.
Is that right?
He was
Wow.
a sick hooper in high school.
Can he play some tight end then too?
I don't put much past Drake May. I really don't. Also, his brother hit one of the most iconic shots in North Carolina basketball history.
Okay.
This is my favorite part about Mike, is like you can
I
ask
don't know
Mike
any
about
of
like the
this.
1972 projections for the San Francisco 49ers. Bam, he'll rattle them off like this.
I didn't know any
You
of
get
this.
right outside of his lane and he's like, who is this Luka Doncic you speak?
Yeah. You're not wrong. I don't know what you're talking about. I know LeBron's on the Sixers. I mean, that's
Yeah.
cool. Like I like that.
Always been a lifelong Sixers fan.
Lifelong Sixers fan since LeBron's side.
I got 2 questions. 2 questions left. First one's from Jackson. Jackson from Chicago, Liz Loza.
Oh boy, this is for you.
Is this the year that we see Marvin Harrison Jr. blossom into the prospect that he was always meant to be? If not at this point, what do you believe his ceiling is?
Good question.
The Kyle Pitts of wide receivers.
Oh, you
That's
said
what it
this
feels
before.
like.
It's a good comp.
Yeah, that has been the comp. Do you think he breaks out this year? What would a
So that would
breakout
be year 5, right?
No.
If he's the Kyle Pitts.
If he's the Kyle
of-
Pitts.
Yeah. My thought on the Kyle Pitts, like, both guys who entered the league with all the acclaim, young prospects, plenty of room for growth, and it's like it goes kind of uninspiring, but like it keeps getting a little bit better. It takes a lot longer to get to where you want it to actually be at, but by the end you're like, all right, that wasn't that bad.
We made it.
We kind of made it,
Yeah.
you know. Like Kyle Pitts just got $18 million a year, like.
Yeah, Pitts is a weird one, too, because he had over 1,000 yards as a rookie.
Yeah.
Like, he was, he got off to such a good start and then disappointed for so long. I will say this. The rule with receivers used to be year 3. That was the year that you broke out. So sometimes it takes guys a little longer. And I know he wasn't drafted as early, but Davante Adams did nothing his first 2 years in the NFL and then became one of the best players in the NFL. It happens sometimes. And also, as I pointed out earlier, Marvin Harrison was delivering pretty good numbers with Jacoby Brissett last year. It was just a very small sample, but he was good when they played together. So maybe there's something there.
So there's an obvious.
That's true. He also was hurt last year. Yep.
Last question here, and I saved it for a New York question. This is Joe from Brooklyn, New York. Shout out to you, Joe.
Brooklyn, by the way, Mike, is one of the boroughs.
That's one of the boroughs.
I got there earlier this summer for the first time. So, yeah, I've seen it.
Did you?
Yeah, made it over there.
Tom Brady's card vault's over there if you were interested in that. Do you think, Mike, that Terrence Ferguson could be a potential tight end sleeper this season?
Is that a real question? Who asked
He is
that?
the Rams wide receiver 3.
Who asked that? Great
Joe
question.
from Brooklyn, New York.
Great
Shout out,
question.
Joe. Let's go.
Yes.
We're
Love it,
Joe-ed.
baby.
We're Brooklyn-ed.
Look, with how smart everyone is now playing fantasy football, I cannot believe that he's still free. He's like basically undrafted everywhere. It's just a guy that's just has no hype whatsoever. He was a second-round pick last year as a tight end, and he's probably going to open the season as a number 3 target on the best offense in the NFL with the Rams. I mean, I am a little worried about him being kind of boom bust because they have 5 tight ends that are 4 of them will probably be active on game day, but they don't have a third
Did you
receiver.
say they have 5 tight ends?
They have 5 tight ends. They drafted another one in the second round this year, and I'm sorry, but like, I know you don't want to hear about these guys. You're pretending they don't exist, but like
I love
Davis
tight
Allen
ends.
is going to be out there, and Tyler Higbee's going to be out there, and Colby Parkinson's going to be out there. They're going to use all these guys, so that's my hesitation. But at the same time, if he is really third in line for targets in that offense, he's going to probably be a fringe tight end 1 at worst.
It would be awesome.
And also, Davante Adams is 33. What if he slips or misses time? What if Puka Nacua is suspended for 4 games? He might be number 2 in line for targets in the Matthew Stafford led off. And so, as far as late round lottery tickets go, money in the bank. I mean, yeah, that's the kind of guy you want. Great question.
Money in the bank when we're talking about Terrence Ferguson.
I mean, that's
how you close out a fantasy-focused live
There's
show right
traits
there.
of guys you want to take late round flyers on. That, of course, would be a guy that fits that bill.
All jokes aside, seriously, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We would not be here if it was not for you guys. Thank you for everything on behalf of Mike, Liz, Field, and I. Don't forget to love each other. Be kind to yourself. You guys deserve it. Stick around. We're going to do a meet and greet. We love you. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Hey, hey, hey.